Good morning, everyone. I am Katrina Paula B. Villamor, and today I will discuss to you about the inquiry-based teaching strategy. One of the major goals of social studies in the Philippines is the development of critical thinking. The question or inquiry is a strategy that social studies teachers can use to elicit the desired responses among the learners. However, not all teachers can effectively facilitate such instructional technique. To do so, teachers must know how to make and throw relevant questions to facilitate discussions. Let us know first what is inquiry. Inquiry is defined as the process of looking and creating information or knowledge by means of questions. Inquiry is a huge part of our community, from birth to adulthood. We observe, recognize things or events, and from here, we create questions that need to be answered. The process of inquiring begins with the assembly of information and data by applying the human senses such as seeing, hearing, touching, and smelling. In 1999, White, Shimoda, and Frederickson developed an instructional theory that enabled scientific inquiry as part of instruction among a widespread variety of learners, including new ones and slow learners. They postulated that quality education could be achieved by allowing the learners to understand metacognition. There are three instructional methodology that develops the students' metacognitive knowledge. One is scaffold inquiry. Two is reflection, and the last one is generalization. Scaffold inquiry, teachers should guide the learners in attaining the goals of any discussion. Hence, they must be aware of several techniques that could allow them to surface the learners' knowledge and skills. Reflection. The spontaneity of the discussion depends on the capacity of the teachers to direct and guide the learners. The most important point is for learners to reason out their mind and try to assess both sides of any situation that will lead to a generalization. Generalization. This is the optimum part of the process wherein the learners have created their own beliefs and communicated their disposition. Take note that in social studies, teachers must know how to divert and process misleading ideas because it may break their motivation and self-esteem. Inquiry-based learning is grounded on rational strategies used to motivate learners to generate responses through the queries regarding issues and events. The learners are seen as active participants in the teaching process. It helps learners to enhance their intellectual capacity through the significance of scientific queries. Some of the benefits of inquiry-based teaching are as follows. First, inquiry is dedicated to nurturing the schema of learners essential to create, communicate, and assess answers coming from their interest. Second, it helps the learners acquire and process ideas in a logical way. Third, it encourages intelligent responses which can be practiced to discover why issues are occurring. To fully understand the strategy, here is the inquiry process. In this model, the roles of teachers as facilitators are highlighted. Is it their responsibility to let the learners identify the problem situation, judge the inquiry events, and reply to learners' inquiry to argument learning? It supports the learners in establishing the importance of their inquiry. It also simplifies the conversation of the problematic situation among the learners because the responses are generated by them. Hence, they will be able to find connections starting from the questions about the topic being discussed. So, questioning techniques. The art of questioning is the most important aspect in this strategy. The teacher must be well exposed to various ways of posing questions to students. Having known the different questioning techniques, teachers are assured of the success of their inquiry. There are the different questioning techniques that social studies teachers can use. One is might question. What might history be? What might be the answer to that social issue? This question does not limit the possible responses among the learners, but rather it opens up a range of possible responses that allows learners to reason out. Their answers may not be correct by their explanations. Their answers may not be correct by their explanations, might pull out things right, including the world might signal the learners that they need to use critical thinking to create arguments relevant to the questions. 2. What if questions? What if there is an earthquake? What shall we do? What if you became the mayor? What program shall you implement? These kinds of questions bring out of the creativity, speculations, and rationality among the learners. It allows the learners to think in a totally different perspective that is usually grounded on what they believe in. It could be a great way to assess the learners formatively because it allows them to answer based from their learnings they had. 3. Different rule questions. Example, you are the judge. Will you give your verdict in favor of the suspect? You are a teacher, and you are expected to guide the learners. If there is a naughty pupil, will you spank him or her? This type of questions allow the learners to have a glimpse of possible rules they might portray in the real world. This strategy is a nice presentation of the outside world and gives their learners the chance to evaluate themselves. Last is Socratic questioning. This questioning style combines all the aforementioned form of question. Socrates has been known in history as a master of incessant questioning to achieve wisdom. Throughout his life, he spent so much time asking people questions for the purpose of revealing falsehood. Scholars divided Socrates' questions into 4 types. Gadfly questions. These allow teachers to ask several questions to push the learners to answer questions. 1 is, what are the elections all about? 2. How important is it for people to participate in the election? 3. What if people were not allowed to vote? What will happen? 4. When you reach the legal age, will you practice your right to vote? Examples of stingray questions. These questions lead to sudden change in the course of questions. Sometimes this is associated to the drift in the situation. 1. First question is, you said that love is the answer. Will you love change the situation of the poor? Second, imagine that poverty is not applicable to your case. Would you still pursue your career as an artist? 3 is a mild wife question. From the name itself, these questions are used to elicit new ideas to the learners. First question is, that is very good point. Can you elaborate it further? Second, how might that idea change the lives of Filipinos? Third is, what made you say that idea? Last question is ignoramus questions. In her, teachers play dumb for them to elicit responses among the learners. First question is, I don't understand. Can you further explain it to me? So, do you mean that? What does your answer mean? By learning to address inquiries, learners can appreciate problem solving and critical thinking. Hence, there is a need for social studies teachers to learn how to properly use questioning skills to fully attain the goals of social studies education in the Philippines. So, study the sample daily lesson plan below and analyze how the jigsaw strategy is utilized in the elementary social studies classroom. So, that's all for today. Thank you, and I hope you understand it well.